To be in the top 1% in America, you need to be earning an average of $407,000 per year. That breaks down to about $34,000 a month, which is great because that's what I make every 4 days. But it wasn't always like this. Growing up, I had a single mom that didn't even make $30,000 a year. She had to raise both me and my little brother with close to nothing, and we struggled. I didn't have any rich parents. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have any handouts. I had to work a bunch of odd jobs, like folding clothes at the mall for $7 an hour, or washing dishes in the back of a restaurant for $8 an hour, before I finally found success with online business. Fast forward to today, and I currently have multiple successful businesses that bring in over $250,000 a month. I live in a $20,000 a month Miami penthouse, and probably the best thing that money can buy, I'm a father and a provider for my family. So in this video, I'm gonna share everything I've learned from becoming that 1%, what shocked me the most, what you can expect when you get here, and what the 1% doesn't want you to know. So right off the bat, I'm gonna be exposing a lot of things here. So they're probably not gonna like this video. They're probably gonna try to bury it in the algorithm. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, anything you can do to get this message out there. The reason I'm sharing all of this information is because growing up poor, I know what it's like to struggle and be frustrated with the world because everything seems so difficult and you don't really know a way out. You don't have any guidance. You don't have anyone to teach you about money, teach you about finances. And eventually when I did figure it out, somehow I was able to infiltrate the 1%. And what I saw in some of those rooms that I was in, some of those meetings, anytime I went and I met a rich person at dinner, the stuff I heard in those conversations shocked me. And the dark truth about what's happening with a lot of people, how the rich are staying rich and how the poor are staying poor. So to start this off and give you guys some context, in the past, we know that there was slavery. And the idea of slavery was that someone worked and the elites, the people that controlled everything, they would give them housing, food, clothes, etc., etc. And I think we can all agree slavery is bad. So eventually, when it got outlawed, there were no more slaves. So the elites, the 1%, when they lost their workforce, they devised a complicated plan to essentially get slaves again legally. And they did it in the form of wage slavery. So you might be wondering, what is wage slavery? Essentially, wage slavery is when the 1%, the elites, the rich, they keep people as slaves via a wage, via a 9-to-5 job. And unfortunately, most people have succumbed to this already. And you might be thinking, well, that's different because I'm getting paid to work. I'm not being forced to work against my will. But think about it like this. Slaves were forced to work in order to have a place to live, food, and clothes on their back. Think about most people working 9-to-5 jobs. Think about where all of their money is going. It's going to their rent, their food, clothes on their back. I don't know a lot of people working 9-to-5 jobs that are free, that can quit and decide not to work because they have to go into work every single day because their boss tells them to. And guess what? Their boss probably works for someone that's rich, a 1%er. So if you're being forced to work, otherwise you lose a place to stay, food, and clothes on your back, what's the difference? Now, rich people are smart. They knew that it wasn't going to be easy to get people to agree to this or to fall for this trick. So they had to start when people were young. Think about it. When we're kids, as early as I can remember, they always tell us what the American dream is. They say, go to college, get a good job, get a house, get married, buy a car, live happily ever after. That's what they teach us ever since we are kids. That's when we're the most susceptible to programming. That's when we're the most suggestible. That's when we want to listen to people. Because if that's what we hear our entire life, guess what? When we become adults, that's what we aspire for. That becomes our goal. Now, here's the issue with that. Everything that they tell us we want, we need in order to become successful in society, it costs a lot of money. They know that the average, everyday, regular person isn't able to afford that. So what do the elites, the 1%, the rich, what do? They kindly offer to let people borrow this money to buy the things that will make them successful, that will give them a good life, all of the things that they need. And this is the trap. This is where it starts. If you're still following me here and you don't think I'm crazy yet, you're probably thinking, but Rene, I don't get my money from rich people. I get my money from banks. And this is where you have to take it a step deeper. At the end of the day, think about it like this. Banks are businesses. They are meant to make money. They operate to make money. A bank is not there to help you. It's not there to store your money. They are there to make money. And guess where banks get their money from? They get it from rich people. I can't tell you how many times I have been solicited by a bank. They approach high net worth individuals like me and they offer to multiply our cash for us. They give us opportunities to invest, let's say $1 million, and give us back a 10% return on it. I can't tell you how many times a bank has contacted me all over the place. It doesn't matter which bank it is. And they say, Rene, put $1 million with us, transfer $1 million with us, and we will multiply your money. We'll give you 10% on it. Me as a rich person now, think about it like this. Wow, I could let them hold my money. They're not taking it. They're just holding my money. It's still mine. And they're going to give me 10% on my money every single year. That's like 100 grand passive income. I don't have to do anything. I say, great, I'm in. From there, they now take the money that I deposit in the bank and they lend it out to a bunch of people that they know need this money. And guess what? They charge interest on it. The banks don't make their money on rich people. They make their money on the consumer, the average everyday person working a job. They approach them and they say, hey, do you want a credit card? All you gotta do is pay us 27% interest, which is out of this world. It's crazy. And they know people can't pay it back. They know people are gonna be stuck paying it forever. And the average everyday person that pays them 27% interest, guess what? The bank just splits it with me. So now the bank is multiplying my money. I'm getting a cut, they're getting a cut, and guess who's paying for it? The average everyday person. And it's not just in the form of credit cards. That's just one example, but think about it. It's student loans. They say go to college. You can't afford it? Don't worry, take a student loan. You'll be able to pay it off when you get a good job. After they get a good job, oh, you have a job and income now? Great. You wanna buy a house? Take a mortgage out. It's fine. You could pay interest over 30 years. You don't have to worry about it. In 30 years, you're gonna be great working this job, making all this money. Oh, you want a nice car too? You worked really hard. You deserve a nice car. Take this car loan. So now you have borrowed $500,000 from the bank and you owe them this money. Otherwise, they take your car, they take your house, ruin your life. And the only way to pay back the bank is by working a 9-to-5 job, because that's what you've worked so hard for. So now at this point, you're trapped. You have all of these bills that have piled up. You're paying interest on it. You have to go to your 9-to-5 job every single day or else you're going to lose everything. And you want to know the worst part? Even though you took out all this money, you borrowed all this money, you still don't own anything. The bank owns it. And if you don't pay, if you decide not to go to work, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to be free, they're going to take it all from you. And they're going to seize that house you worked really hard for. They're going to take that car and guess what? They're going to sell it and pay me back. And at the end of the day, everyone makes money except for the consumer, who they are sucking dry essentially. Wage slavery. And if we wanted to take it a step further, guess who owns all of the businesses that employ people? Guess who they're working for in the first place? If you were to do your research and look at who are the richest people in the country, it's the business owners. It's the people that own these businesses. So not only are you working for these people and doing labor and sacrificing your time, you are also making payments that are eventually paying them. How crazy is that? They've essentially trained you since you were young to do something that they told you was the smart way of doing things, a great way to live, the American dream. But in reality, all they were doing is convincing you to work for them for the rest of your life. And you want to know what's messed up? They can control your wages. They can make it so you only earn enough to barely pay your bill and you never really get out. You're just stuck in place working for the next 30 years of your life. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds a lot like slavery to me. Spending all of your working years, the years where you have energy, the years where you can do something, spending it working for someone else to pay back a bank that pays them. It's a really vicious cycle. And like I said, instead of chains, they're just using debt now. Before they used to use chains in order to have people enslaved, now they're using debt. And it serves the same exact purpose. What society deems successful is having an $80,000 salary at a corporate job with a $5,000 house loan and a $30,000 car loan and $50,000 in student debt. How is that successful to you? And why is that fair when people like me, who are unsuccessful by society's standards, college dropout, no college degree, I get to sit in my giant penthouse all day, do whatever I want, travel the world, enjoy the finer things in life, invest my money with banks because I know some schmuck out there is gonna pay my return every single year while other people are slaving away and 9-to-5 jobs. Does that seem fair to you? Now, I don't tell you guys this to feel shitty about your situation. In fact, you should be angry. You should be mad that people are trying to trap you or they've already trapped you and you are stuck in this cycle where you can't escape. You're essentially a wage slave. There's nothing fair about a college dropout like me, no education, nothing prestigious. People actually look down on it. They're like, oh, your money's not gonna last. I'm gonna stick to my 9-to-5 job. It's insane how brainwashed some people are, that they think it's better, that there's more honor in working 50 years of their life at a 9-to-5 job than making some money and actually being able to enjoy their life. So for those of you that made it this far, you're probably wondering, what is the alternative? I'm already in the process. I'm about to be stuck, or I'm stuck already. What can I do to escape? Because I know for a fact this is not for me. If I had to give you advice on escaping in the fastest way possible, number one, avoid taking out loans or making any big commitments. That means don't buy a house because you're stuck there for the next 30 years. Don't buy a car that you can't afford. Don't take out student loans if you don't even know what you're gonna do yet. I can't tell you how many people take out student loans, and when I ask them, oh, what's your plan? They say, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to school right now. I'm gonna figure it out after. Trapped, and they don't even know it. Avoid making that commitment. Avoid getting those chains around you, because after that, what you want to do is find a way to make more money. And the good news is, in today's day and age, it's a lot easier than ever. In the past, you had to save a bunch of money to start a business, to start your own enterprise. You have to get employees, a physical location. You need a lot of cash to do that. So you have to work a job in order to save that money. But these days, with the power of the internet, you can literally start a business from home with little to nothing. In fact, I made my first million with social media marketing. It's a business model I talk a bunch about. I'm gonna post a little video here if you wanna learn how you can do it as well. But that's how I was able to make my first million and avoid the trap altogether. The reason I love this business model is because it doesn't really cost that much money to start. And as soon as you learn the skill, it allows you to target business owners who have the money and do big deals. So for example, let's say I want to do social media marketing. I could approach a business, get them to pay me $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. And after that, I'm officially free from this 9-to-5 job, and I'm able to continue to grow my business. Because if I get 4, 5, 6 clients paying me $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, I'm now at escape velocity. I have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, which I can use to then invest and escape this trap, this wage slavery. If you guys want to learn more about that, I have a free class. I'm gonna put the link in the description. It's live. You're gonna be able to talk to me, ask me questions. It's gonna be good. I'm excited to see you guys there. So make sure you get a spot. The link is in the description. But hopefully this video woke you up. Hopefully this is what you needed to see in order to assess your life and realize, hey, I'm not happy with this. I can't work the next 50 years of my life and be a slave to the 1%, because I want you to be mad. I want you to be angry. It's not fair that people with a lot less credentials as you are the ones that are able to do what they want with their time, are the ones that are able to live a life that they want while you are working a 9-to-5 job paying their bill. Because as unfortunate as it sounds, everyone that's working a 9-to-5 job right now is paying mine. So that being said, make sure you guys subscribe, like. Hopefully, like I said, this helped you out. But as always, love you guys.